Hey everybody. So today I've got a Atari Jaguar controller here I picked up recently. I did test it out. The C button doesn't seem to work, so I thought we'd open it up and see if we can figure out what's wrong with it. I'm assuming it's just needing cleaned. So I've never actually opened up a Jaguar controller before, so we're going to see what we get here. So the first thing I'm going to do is get a very small screwdriver here. I'm going to see if I can pop out these rubber pieces here. They should probably just be adhesived in, I would assume, covering the screw holes. So there's one here. Yeah, it looks like there is a Phillips head screw under there, so it's a matter of getting these loose. One up here. And sorry if this isn't the normal shooting area. This is just kind of an impromptu thing. Kids asleep, have the time. Just thought I'd do a quick shoot, see how the webcam on my tablet works. So got those loose. So now I'm going to get a Phillips here. See if I can get in there and get these loose. Hopefully I don't need a bigger screwdriver. Which evidently I do, of course. Alright, so give me just a minute here and I will be back. Okay guys, I am back. That took about 10 or 15 minutes here to find a screwdriver that would fit and to get in here and to get things loosened. Because, well, this thing's probably not been touched in 20 some odd years, so everything was kind of sealed shut. And I had to use a screwdriver and pliers to kind of pry stuff loose. Anyway, I loosened them all a bit, so I am taking them out here, so you are getting to see me open the controller for the first time. So, didn't really break anything, just was just going to be easier to fight it. Okay. And there's 4 screws out. Okay. Those 2. The other 2 fell behind the camera. There's 3. And there's 4. Okay. And there is the screw. You can see it's got some gunk on it. Alright. So we've got it loose. I'm going to go ahead and just pull the back up off here because I assume everything will be laying on the front. Here we go. So we've got the circuit board for the number pad, and then we've got a second circuit board up here for these buttons here. It looks like one screw, and then it's just kind of gently pulling things loose. And look, they hot glued the ribbon cable on. That's interesting. Not a standard plug-in, so. Alright, let's see if one of my screwdrivers will actually work on this screw. No, it was too little. There we go. Okay. It's not quite coming loose here. It actually looks like, you might not need to pull that loose. Alright, well, let's see here. This should just pull out. It should just kind of wiggle its way loose here a little bit. Alright. Alright, there's the 3 buttons. Looks like you can't really get to anything this way, and it looks like that actually held the D-pad together, so that was a screw out. like these two little ones have to come out here to get the main boards out. So let's see if I can get these to turn. Ugh. There we go. And those are about half the length of the main ones that held the controller together, so they'll be easy to keep track of. Okay. See if this will all come loose now. There we go. So there's the shell. And then this is what an Atari Jaguar controller looks like on the inside. Okay, so that screw there I need to put back in because that holds the little nub the mushy D-pad rests on. Let me get my screwdriver to work with me here today. So I should line up this part in here. There's our peg. Now there's a peg in one corner that holds that onto the circuit board, and then this screw holds this piece in. So there we go. So here is what a Jaguar controller looks like here, and you see it's just a big mushiness. So this is our not working C button. Let's see if this pulls loose. There you go, it just pegs in. See there, that looks nice and clean. This looks all mushy. Take a few minutes just to look over the circuit board here. It looks pretty nice. I don't really see any damage on anything. So I guess I'm going to go over that with just a little bit of alcohol here on a Q-tip just to make sure it's okay. Put it back together and we'll see what happens. So, standard Q-tip. A little isopropyl alcohol. And just kind of go over it real quick, make sure the contacts are good. Blow on it to get it to dry out. Make sure it's good and dry. I don't know if you can see it there, it's in print on the circuit board. Looks like 3033 version 2, part number 203033010. Interesting. Alright, so we got that. So let's look at our button here. So we got the outside, on the inside we've just got a little black nub. Which is clear black and it looks perfectly fine. It's like a hard rubber piece in the center of the button. So, see if I can get this back on here. There's just these two little nubs that go in these holes. I'll hold it in place. There we go. Let's see if we can get you back in the shell. So we got our Jaguar shell. Put the D-pad in. And we get our buttons in. Let's see. And I gotta remember which button's which, because they're shaped weird. That one's probably this one. That one is this one. Now it's just a matter of talking it into going back together. Sorry, it's my phone going off. I'm getting texted here. Okay. Okay. For some reason this has popped back up and isn't going back down. There we go. Let's try to get one of these bottom screws back in. Get the other one in. Alright. Get that back in place. There we go. It'd just be a matter of putting this back part in. You can see on here the back shell has a kind of those that push the circuit boards up and keep them in place here. So alright, so I'm going to get these 4 screws back in. And then we'll have to go test her out. Pretty cool. I've owned a Jaguar since I think it was actually new in stores, and I never actually got to see inside a controller, so this was kind of fun. Hopefully you enjoyed getting a peek inside a Jag controller. Alright, so I'm going to stop it here, and we're going to go test it out, so we'll be back in a few minutes. Thanks for watching. Alright guys, so I'm back. So I put this together and I tried it on my Jaguar, and I have to admit it didn't work, and I realized I put the D-pad on incorrectly, but it flat out acted the same. It didn't, the C button doesn't work. It appears everything else works, so it was very weird. So I did plug in my original, and this is the one I got when I bought my Jaguar when it was still in stores. So this is an original, I know, working controller. It worked perfectly fine. And it's very weird because on the one I got, I mean, it's obviously a Jaguar controller. You know, unfortunately the sticker's gone, so I don't know much about where it came from or the model number. And as far as I know, there were no third-party controllers, or of course, you know, it has Atari on it, so I assume this is a first-party controller. But what I learned, I found something interesting while I was looking at this, and I did not know there were variations in Jaguar controllers. So this is the connector for the new, or the one I tried to fix, controller. This is the plug-in of my original. And as you can see, the one I tried to fix today is missing 3 pins. So I don't know, I really don't know what that means. I mean, if it's an actual Jaguar controller, it should work. I mean, it plugs in correctly, but that C button doesn't work. So I don't know if there was a second model Jaguar in controller and this is a second model and I got a first gen, or what this means. So I'm going to have to be doing some research on this. Something very interesting, though, because it's kind of a rare console, so I had not ever heard of this, but I just wanted to show this to you guys. So thanks for watching. Like I said, the whole point to Adventures in Console Repair is I don't know what I'm doing when I do this. I'm learning as I go and letting you guys see the process and pick up what you can from it. So very interesting. A possible second version of the Jaguar controller that I was not aware of. So thanks for watching.